Hello, my name is Alaina Majkrzak. Here I am in the goat pen with my friend Laffy Taffy the goat at the sanctuary that I've been spending my service learning experience for the past couple months. I've been learning about how to take care of animals, what goes into it, and the history of this place. I've been learning a lot, so I'll just get right into it. The Tilted Tavern is an animal sanctuary in Jonesboro, and for almost 200 years, this building and land have been used as a farm for both livestock and traditional crops. In 2010, it was bought over by Robert and Brooke, the current owners, and they decided to change it to something a little different than the regular farm. They wanted to create a safe space where the animals could roam free but have a safe home to live in, and they see the animals as individuals with a story of their own, and they take in animals from cruel situations who have had bad lives, and I'll go into more detail about that in a little bit. I picked this place because I simply adore hanging out with different animals. I want to take care of them, I want to learn from them, and I find it therapeutic to be around them. I think our society these days doesn't value nature enough, and we're missing out on a lot of good times. I also know from personal experience that not everybody feels this way about animals, and sometimes animals get placed in the wrong hands. They work very closely with Washington County Animal Shelter, and they look for animals who are being abused, such as this little guy named Dumbledore, this pig shown here. He was used in a local dog fighting rink in the county to agitate dogs. So when they first got him, he was quite skittish, and with the help of volunteers and workers at this sanctuary, they actually were able to personalize him and socialize him to the point where he can be pet. Something unique is that they're not just a regular cats and dogs animal shelter. They take from farms and slaughterhouses situations of people being charged with animal cruelty. They work very closely with Washington County Animal Shelter to find situations, and there's a big need for places like the Tilted Tavern. I mean, there's tons of animals. We're at max capacity right now, so hopefully we'll be able to continue this work and spreading awareness. Robert, the owner, pays mostly for everything, and there's also individual donors. There's not a lot of them, as I've been told by my supervisor, but there are fundraisers that they do on social media and things like that to help pay for it. According to my supervisor, that funding is okay. It's not gonna go away anytime soon. They have a safety net of funds, but they would like to see more sponsors so that they could maybe take in more animals, since they are at max capacity right now. The cost for food, hay, and bedding alone this winter is around $10,000. That does not include things like fencing and extra brushes, things to improve their habitat, making more homes for the animals. Things like that. It's all gonna cost a lot, so there is a need for such funds. For both me and the animals and the people that I worked with, I believe this was a beneficial experience. I got to enjoy the livelihood of these animals, and they got to be pet.
Oh no, she didn't.
Such as Chloe here. This is one of my favorite animals at this place. She just loves when we come by. She always squeals in excitement to see us. I drove out to Jonesboro every Wednesday and Friday afternoon, and usually would start out by greeting everyone. There were a few other volunteers that were there as well, and then we would be sent to our different jobs. I usually took over doing dishes, cleaning out the old food bowls and, rinsing them out, getting them nice and fresh for the animals to eat out of. And I would also clean out some of the hen houses and some of the goat pens as well. We would take the remains of that to the compost pile and fill it up with fresh bedding for them, delivering that with the gator you see me driving here in this photo. I learned that animals are much like humans in the way that they each have their own personality, and they can be very funny or very shy, and you kind of learn communication skills through communicating with different types of animals. I learned how to be gentle and still approach a skittish animal. Here's a fellow volunteer named Jimmy playing guitar to the swan, who's very mean, and so he decided to play this kind of interesting song. I think he liked it.
Ooh, I got a good song for him. Bad luck, wind been blowing at my back. I pray don't look at me and I pray I don't look back. Number 13 tattooed on my neck. When the ink starts to itch, the black will turn to red.
Playing music for the goats was a really fun time. We actually sang for them as well, and they enjoyed it quite a lot, which I had no idea that they would even respond. So I was very intrigued to find that out. I mentioned before that since I was little, I've always wanted a farm, but I actually have always had a garden, and it's one of my passions in life is to be gardening my own food and try to be as sustainable as possible these days when it's very, challenging to even find local organic produce. So it's something I actually mentioned to Liz, and we made plans for the springtime for me to come in and plan a garden there to grow maybe carrots and things like that, maybe some hay for the horses, and it would all go to feeding the animals, which I think could be financially really a good idea, and also bring more people to, it would need more volunteers, but it would bring more people to connect with, nature and soil, and I think that's a passion of mine as well, is bringing people. We could bring kids there. I work at the yoga studio in Johnson City teaching kids yoga, so we could bring the kids there and have everybody help out with the garden. I guess the challenge was honestly not falling in love with every single animal to the point where I, want to take them home with me. I mean, no, for real, I guess one challenge would be if I would have to do this every day, I would probably find it difficult to do such tasks that, the people who work there do, such as building the houses or, doing the maintenance. I have no clue how to do any of that. Like, there was a problem with the pipe one day, and I couldn't really help too much. So I guess that could be a challenge that I could try to take on, is learning how to be more handy. I am most proud of my attitude when it comes to trying new things. I always was ready to take on a new task. I am least proud of my lack of handy skills in building. Questions that I still have as a service learner: why don't we have this class in high schools or middle schools? This is my first time seeing this class, and I would recommend it to, younger kids too, because it was so beneficial. I learned a lot, and it's almost like an internship, but it's really fun. I would love to see the youth working together to find solutions to the everyday problems of farm life, just like I had to do. Giving back to a community means looking at certain problems in our community and addressing them, and then realizing that that service kind of makes you feel like your problems in your everyday life are smaller. And so it makes you feel really good about life, and you're helping yourself, you're helping others. It's a mutually beneficial experience. I'd like to see more folks getting involved in things like this. You can find them on Facebook at the Tilted Tavern Animal Sanctuary. That's a good way to find them. They also have a website, so just look up their name, Jonesboro, Tennessee, and then that will take you to the About page, and you can get in contact with somebody through that. Because of service learning, I am impacting the world in a positive way, and therefore enjoying life in a more meaningful way for myself too. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.